This evening on ENN Tonight.
How Elon community members with ties to Temple Israel are reacting to a recent attack.
Know that we are going to persevere. We're going to get through this. We're going to thrive.
A recap of how the Elon women's basketball team played in the CAA tournament.
And a skateboarding community building passion while they await a new park.
Those stories and more.
ENN Tonight starts now. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for ENN Tonight. I'm Charlotte Fabi.
And I'm Alice Morrissey. Let's dive right into this week's top stories. Authorities say a man rammed a pickup truck into Temple Israel in Detroit, Michigan Thursday afternoon, forcing his way through the front doors. ENN's Angelina Fantaroni has more on how Elon community members with ties to the temple are reacting to the attack.
Elon parent and Temple Israel Rabbi Marla Hornstein says she wasn't there at the time of the attack as she was watching her son perform with the Elon Wind Ensemble at Carnegie Hall.
Something like this happens and all you want to do is come home. You want to be there, and there's a terrible sense of guilt for not being there.
Investigators say the driver drove through the building and down a hallway with a truck loaded with fireworks. He died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The FBI says the incident appears to be a targeted act of violence against the Jewish community. Rabbi Hornstein says it is natural for students to feel shaken up after the attack.
I think it's also really important for you to know that you don't have to do this alone. There are wonderful services out there, people who can help you.
The day after the attack, the Shenandoah Country Club in West Bloomfield, Michigan, hosted Temple Israel's Shabbat service. The country club was also a safe haven for children during the attack.
This is something we've planned for a very long time. Anti-Semitism is not new, unfortunately. We had incredible security in place.
Elon Jr., Aiden Fishkind, attended Temple Israel for 18 years. They say this is not the first time the Jewish community has experienced anti-Semitism.
It's like everybody always says, it's never going to happen to me. We live in a safe space. Things might happen in other places, but it's not going to happen here. But this is hardly the first time that I've been through something like this. Rabbi
Hornstein says everybody wants to help, especially the Elon community.
Take care of your friends, build a strong Jewish community there at Elon, celebrate being Jewish, know that we are going to persevere, we're going to get through this, we're going to thrive, we're going to celebrate the joy of being Jewish.
Rabbi Hornstein says students can show up to Elon's Hallel, even if they're not Jewish, to be there for others. Angelina Fantaroni, ENN Tonight.
Rabbi Hornstein says Temple Israel wants students to be strong and celebrate their Judaism.
A former Southern Alamance High School teacher is facing 2 counts of felony indecent liberties with a student and 1 count of misdemeanor solicitation of prostitution. 53-year-old Nicholas Allen Anders was indicted March 4th for the charge of felony indecent liberties with a student, which court documents say happened in 2025 while he was a teacher. According to a warrant from the Graham Police Department, Anders was charged on June 4th. Elon News Network covered this case in June. In a statement made at the time to Elon News Network, Emily Lynn Adkins, a spokesperson for ABSS, told ENN that Anders had resigned from his position on May 30th. Elon News Network reached out to Anders' legal counsel for comment, but didn't get a response. According to court documents, all 3 of the charges involved different victims, and not all of the victims were students. Anders was an agriculture teacher at Southern Alamance High School and was first hired in 2005. Anders is scheduled to make his next court appearance on April 13th.
The Alamance Burlington school system is redrawing its school boundaries for the 2026-27 school year to address overcrowding. ABSS has partnered with planning firm School Camp to come up with different plans for how the redistricting will work. Our Miles Hayford is live in studio to tell us more about it. Miles?
Thanks, Alice. ABSS is running out of seats. Garrett Elementary, Southern Middle, and Williams High School are over capacity, and several others are nearing 100% capacity. To counteract this overcrowding, ABSS has proposed new maps to spread students more evenly across buildings. The district says that this will keep bus rides shorter and reduce class sizes. The rezoning process will also help plan ahead for the 13,000 new homes expected to be built in Alamance County by 2035, and the increase of 1,000 students in the next 5 years. The Board of Education listened to 2 proposals for elementary schools and 1 for middle schools last week. One proposal for elementary schools offered would move 820 students, while the other would move 50 less students. but affects the same number of schools. Either way, Garrett Elementary would be reduced by at least 400 students. If a student is assigned a new school, they cannot transfer until the following school year. The middle school rezoning plan would affect 620 students and would largely help reduce overcrowding at Southern Alamance Middle School. The school board will vote on the final maps March 23rd.
Thanks, Miles. And families will be notified of any changes in April.
St. Patrick's Day weekend in Elon appears to have gone smoothly, according to Town of Elon Police. Assistant Chief of the Town of Elon Police Department, Kedrick King, wrote in an email to Elon News Network that an initial review of activity logs, citations, and body camera footage shows that the weekend was fairly manageable. He stated that there were no arrests and no citations specifically for underage drinking, open container violations, or disorderly conduct. He wrote that it will be fully confirmed once all of the system data is downloaded and reports are finalized. Officers did notice crowding in the Oak Hill area, but stepped in early to address the growing gathering before it became a larger issue. In previous years, crowds there have reached 2,000 to 3,000 students, creating safety concerns like limited emergency access and alcohol-related medical calls. Police say those numbers were not seen this year, and overall, gatherings around the town were handled in a professional and respectful way.
Today has been an eventful day for weather, and our Abby Gravely is here in the virtual studio to give you the recap. What does the rest of the evening look like, Abby?
Thanks, Alice. We've been seeing some severe storms and wind today, which are continuing into this evening. About half an hour ago, the National Weather Service issued a severe thunderstorm warning, our second of the day. The alert warns of winds up to 60 miles an hour and includes Alamance, Guilford, and 8 other counties. The alert warns of danger until 6:15 this evening, so should be wrapping up pretty soon, but that rain and wind will continue throughout this evening and clear up in the early hours of the morning. Classes were canceled from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. today due to a tornado watch. A watch means that conditions are right for a tornado to form, but no tornadoes were spotted in Alamance County, and the watch has been lifted. This string of storms is due to a cold front and heavy winds sweeping up the southeast. Starting yesterday evening, we saw a burst of thunderstorms and wind speeds averaging 20 miles per hour across the eastern Piedmont region. Alamance County has seen a little over half an inch of rain, and the rain and wind will continue for the next couple hours. This is what you see here behind me, but will taper off overnight, making way for what's looking to be a sunny Tuesday. I'll be back later with what the rest of the week will look like, but for now, back to you at the desk.
Well, thanks for that update, Abby. We'll check back in with you later.
And coming up, I'll be sitting down with the 2 candidates running for Student Government Association's Executive President position. You can cast your vote for all of the SGA positions on Phoenix Connect until 7 p.m. tomorrow.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think.
You alright? It just feels like it's coming from everywhere. Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
There's only one thing that will save somebody's life, and that is naloxone nasal spray. Get 911 on the phone, get the emergency responses there on their way.
I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving. I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Hate is loud, but love is the majority.
Student Government Association hosted their annual Executive Candidate Forum, giving the Elon community a chance to learn more about candidates running for Executive President and Vice President. The forum started with a panel moderated by SGA's Speaker of the Senate, Selma Marich, where candidates were able to talk about issues they want to address if elected. They also spoke about the importance of informing the community about what SGA does. After the panel, candidates were able to answer questions during a Q&A. Voting is taking place today and tomorrow until 7 p.m. on Phoenix Connect. And joining ENN's Trista Panagakos in studio are the two candidates running for SGA Executive President, Jocelyn Gomez and Michael Swartz.
Thanks, Charlotte, and thank you both for joining us. Firstly, current SGA Executive President Anya Braddock has used Anya's top 5 to keep the student body aware of events and offices around campus. If elected, how would you keep a line of communication between SGA and the student body open?
So I think a top 5 is perfect, especially via video. That's the best outward-facing communication to get students actually engaged. That's why one of my majors is cinema, television, arts. So I would plan on actually keeping that going and try to keep those things, bringing them in person to classrooms and talking past video to try to get the momentum going around what's available on campus.
I would love to continue on its top 5, but add a little twist on it and kind of doing different aspects of student life that students don't normally focus on. So go into different groups and ask them intentional questions of like, what's one thing you wish someone knew more about your org? What's one thing we could prove around campus? What makes you feel seen at Elon? Just things like that.
Yeah. And if elected, how do you plan to work across campus with different offices and organizations to make your term successful?
I think just being present in all the spaces, like we both have kind of talked about this during Executive Candidates Forum, but just being already in the spaces with students, at the organizations, at meetings, in offices, asking to meet with people and just being present.
Yeah, I learned so much from being around different groups and giving my ideas and learning from others. And I think what's made my Elon experience so special is the fact that all my involvements are very different from one another. And I think a lot of students align with that same mindset and experience. So the thing that brings us together is we're all part of the same Elon community. So really sticking to that core foundation and improving life for every student, no matter the organization.
Part of your responsibility as executive president is to fill positions on different committees, and if there are open Senate seats after the election, fill those seats as well. How would you help new senators or committee members adjust to their role to be successful?
I think the environment within the office is the most important thing, making people excited and happy to come into every single Senate meeting on Thursdays. And then most importantly, it doesn't matter really what happens in those meetings if we don't take it out of the office and bring it to the students and the organizations around campus, make sure the organizations know what's available to them and make everything that's offered like widely aware and known.
Yeah, additionally just being more present with all the spaces that are on campus when it comes to appointments specifically, like actually conducting interviews where they get to be in the Senate, actually meet people in the Senate and know parliamentary procedure, because it is kind of intimidating to come into our Senate and not knowing that you can't get up during voting, things like that. So kind of just having a clear line of communication through everything.
Mm-hmm. And how might your previous experiences on SGA already help you in this position?
So I've had 2 different roles. I was a Love School of Business Senator, so I got to meet with academic deans, which is really cool, and also plan the majors fair. So I think it helped with kind of like the logistics of everything. And then currently serving on finance board as a class of 2027 treasurer. That's been extremely helpful, just because it kind of gave me a background into the finance bylaws, which is a kind of a huge thing with SGA, just because of the student activity fees. So I think it just gave me a very good perspective of the org's perspective of SGA and how we can better increase that transparency.
Yeah, serving as class president for my first 2 years at Elon allowed me to be in rooms that were really crazy, especially as a freshman arriving on campus, talking to Connie Book and people like John Dooley, and being able to express things that my friends had talked to me sort of in passing to people that can actually make things happen. So that's the main part of this role, is not solving every problem that's brought to you, but really bringing those problems to the people that can create the right solutions to help everybody have a better time throughout the year. So using that experience, and as Jocelyn said, I'm now a school of communications senator as well. So looking at the schools that people are a part of and how can we improve that to make everyone's year better next year.
And I know SGA passed a suggestion box recently in the fall. How would you use those suggestions, or how would you use the suggestion box to help in your term make legislation?
Really just, it's gonna sound simple, but reading what students want. I think that the suggestion box has been successful in the past when students are inclined to actually go and give suggestions and go to the events that we're putting on. So thinking deeply about not only what they're saying, but why they're saying it and how to address that why in the first place.
Yeah, additionally, and also we have all these different subcommittees inside of SGA, and so they work specifically with the suggestions that we've got. Recently got Executive Candidates Forum. We had a bunch of suggestions that have already been divvied out to how to address things like that and who to go talk to. So we've already had questions for John Dooley, things like that, which is pretty.
Yeah. Thank you guys both for your time. I really appreciate it. And now back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Trista. You can cast your ballot for the SGA election on Phoenix Connect. Voting closes tomorrow at 7 p.m. and results will be announced at 7:30 p.m. on Medallion Plaza. And speaking of student government elections, Elon's current student body president, Anya Bradich, encourages those who don't win their election to talk to the newly elected president. Bradich says that SGA is open to appointing members to the Senate because there are typically vacant seats. So if interested, she says to set up a meeting with the new president and see what's open. Having these conversations is something Bradich says she did throughout her term. She says she admires those who run for SGA positions and the hard work that they put into running.
It's tough. Like, you put yourself out there, you do all this hard work, you campaign, and you don't win. It is definitely a discouraging thing, but I think SGA has historically done a really good job of reaching out to people after they've lost their election and saying there are still vacant seats in the Senate.
Bradich says SGA is happy to work with students to see what fits right for them.
Elon women's basketball hadn't won a tournament game since 2020 until this weekend. How the Phoenix broke the streak in dramatic fashion, coming up.
Skateboarders in Elon aren't waiting around for the new skate park. How they're keeping the community rolling after the break.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Even more than I wanted a gold medal, I wanted a heart of gold, like the mentors who were my balance beams refusing to let me down, and the coaches who spoke out to anything out of bounds, heroes who never stood on podiums, but stood up for me. Every shot I made, give the assist to those who since my youth were referees, ready to blow the whistle and end abuse.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
Kudos, Carl. You've always had a need for speed. Racing anything with wheels, speed reading novels in record time, yelling out 3, 2, 1 at every traffic light. But this time, you've taken your power obsession to the next level. By purchasing this electric vehicle, you've given yourself instant torque that blows your old launch times away, which will keep you saying, woo-wee, every time you punch the pedal. Good for your adrenaline, great for the planet. That's the power of EV.
The Elon women's basketball team made some noise at the Coastal Athletic Association tournament this weekend in Washington, D.C., winning its first tournament game in 6 years. ENN's Kathan Gandhi now joins us live in the studio with more on the weekend. Kathan?
Charlotte, it was a roller coaster couple of days for Elon in the CAA tournament. The 6th-seeded Phoenix opened with a gritty 67-62 comeback win over Hampton University, marking the program's first conference tournament victory since 2020. After battling Hampton's traps and full-court pressure all night long, Elon flipped the game in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Pirates 21-9 to secure the win. Now, graduate forward Quinziah Fulmer led the way with 22 points, while freshman Tamia Watkins added a double-double, 14 points, 13-rebound performance. Head coach Charlotte Smith told me it was one of her favorite seasons coaching the team. Building a new culture so quickly with fresh faces like Fulmer and Watkins was a big reason why. But the momentum didn't carry into the next round. Facing third-seeded Drexel University, the Phoenix were in for a tough matchup. Elon started off strong, but couldn't find a consistent offensive rhythm against one of the league's best defenses, eventually falling 68-53. Even with the loss, the tournament run marks a step forward for Elon, showing signs of growth headed into next season. After the loss, Smith said that championships are born in the offseason. She hopes to improve Elon's outside shooting and comfort on defense.
Ethan, I know the energy seemed pretty hot on the court, but what about outside? What was the stadium like?
Yeah, it was a pretty vivacious stadium, I would say. Both for Elon, there were parents there for the team as well as alumni. We actually talked to Lene Corbett's dad, and he was very excited, I'll tell you that. But not only for Elon, the entire CAA, there was really a lot of energy brewing in the stadium. I know Hofstra, that was a 10 seed in the tournament, ended up making a run all the way to the finals, which was pretty impressive. And let me tell you, they got hyped in that stadium. It's pretty crazy. You know, March really does get madness around these times. So it was cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kathan. We'll be keeping an eye on basketball teams as that transfer portal begins to open.
At Beth Schmidt Park, the sound of boards hitting the pavement fills the air as skateboarders show off their tricks. ENN's Fiona McAllister was there to capture all of the action.
Skateboarders take to the pavement instead.
Show that we have a community here and that we're trying to grow that community, especially with a skate park.
And people of all ages share one thing here, their love for skateboarding.
Oh gosh, I mean, to be honest with you, it's like art. There's just nothing like it.
My favorite thing about skateboarding is that you can do it however you want to.
And one piece of advice for new skateboarders.
You can't quit. You can't quit. It's not something you can quit. Don't quit.
Take it easy. Don't be scared. Try to have fun with it.
Local skateboarder Paul Stansberry says skateboarding not only builds character, but it builds friendship too.
My favorite part about skating is probably the people I've met. All of my closest friends I've met through skateboarding.
Ingalls says that the new skate park is supposed to break ground this next year. Fiona McAllister, ENN Tonight.
Ingalls says that the skate committee sets up these obstacles so that it gives skaters a place to practice and hang out.
An Elon University junior has been recognized for his service to the community. Gage Brinker, a volunteer at the Elon Fire Department, has been named EMT of the Year for his dedication to safety both on and off campus. Brinker has been an active member of the department for 3 years during his time as a student. Fire Department staff voted on this award along with 2 others, Rookie of the Year and Firefighter of the Year. In addition to responding to calls, Brinker also stands by at university sporting events and takes part in weekly trainings at the station. Fire Chief Landon Massey says that each year the Elon Fire Department presents these awards to recognize members who go above and beyond to represent their motto, a few serving many.
But he come in as a student, and he was so dedicated that instead of going home for the summer his first year here, he actually went to another fire department, got completely certified that summer, and came back so that he could actually be a certified firefighter here at Elon.
Massey says student volunteers like Brinker are an important part of how the fire department serves the Elon community. Brinker declined an interview with Elon News Network.
Fine. After the break.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
In 4 days. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children. She didn't know what to do.
Did you have a good day at school?
She gave them some broth without any bread.
There you go.
And kissed them all soundly.
Night night.
Good night. And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Women are bad with money. That's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now we've got something to say.
Save it. It's time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Until we're no longer 80% more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
Save it. The falsehoods, the feelings of fault.
Then, the funds. Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
I've always been told I gotta be strong. Thick skin, tough as nails. But to be everything for everybody, it wears on you. Black don't crack, they say. But it can. We all can. Reach out to a friend if you see them going through it. No matter who you are, being vulnerable is what makes us whole. Learn how to help at seizetheawkward.org.
Providence Christian Montessori Community School in Burlington is receiving a grant from the National Earth Science Teachers Association. The opportunity comes from a collaborative project with Elon University professor Evan Small and Kelsey Biddings and their students studying land use. The proposal, titled Living Land Legacy, Habitat Restoration and Conservation at Providence Montessori, seeks to foster conservation efforts in responsible land use management on the school's campus. Providence says they are deeply grateful for the partnership and hope to continue building a more sustainable future. Small and Biddings declined an interview with ENN.
Let's check back in with Abby Gravely in the virtual studio for this week's forecast. We had rain, we had sun, we had wind today, and everything in between. But will the sun be the one that comes out strong this week, Abby?
Thanks, Charlotte. Starting off, Alamance County is still under a severe thunderstorm warning that was recently extended until 6:45 this evening. The National Weather Service urges everyone to seek shelter, ideally on the lowest floor of a building and away from windows until the storm passes. But to answer your question, Charlotte, yes, the sun will come out this week, but it won't be all that warm. Let's take a look at the Phoenix 5-day forecast. Tomorrow we'll see that sun with a high of 46 and low of 24. Wednesday we'll have a bit more cloud coverage with a high of 45 and low of 26. From there, it will start warming up gradually. Thursday and Friday will be sunny with highs of 60 and 66. Saturday will get back up to the 70s with a high of 73. It looks like all the severe weather will be out of the way by the end of the week, so spring break travel plans are unlikely to be impacted. That's all for you right now. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks so much, Abby. Looking forward to the weather hopefully clearing up for this week.
As spring continues to bloom here at Elon, the ducks at Lake Marionelle are busy preparing for some very special arrivals. Ducks around the lake have started laying their eggs in nests tucked into the grass and along the water's edge. According to the Cornell University College of Veterinary Medicine, eggs from common ducks typically take around 28 days to hatch. Well, that's all the news we have for you this evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Head over to our website, elonnewsnetwork.com, for stories, sports, and more.
And make sure to follow us on social media at Elon News Network.
Have a great night, Elon.